Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another wonderful night here at the Rose Cup. We're in the Winter Wonderland event, and that means that everything is going to be a little bit more festive, a little bit more spicy, but mega lad, it's definitely meaning that we got a little bit of a different batch going on right now. You don't have to summarize everything. I think everyone knows it for 4 weeks, but it means that we might have a very interesting game on our hands.
Yes, indeed, because coming into this, a lot of teams did play on this on this new patch on the PTR, expecting the changes to come through. Obviously, they're now coming through extremely late, but it could give teams an edge, something they've been practicing for a while.
That definitely could be. And for your information, guys, we've got N.S.A.L versus Connection Lost. It's a Masters playoffs game, semifinals. So that's it's really getting there, almost through all the marbles, but not just yet. Who's going to go to the finals? We don't know just yet, but we will know in just a max of 7 maps. I think the rule set technically allows. We'll see. We'll see where we go. But first of three, so a very standard format. You have to win 3 maps, so draws will just not count for anything. And we're going to start on Lijiang Tower, as we often do.
Yes, indeed. Lijiang, it's just one of those basic maps. Nothing's really going to change regardless of meta. You can always get away with like a Ryan Zarya composition. But it will be interesting to see what these teams do decide to opt into. Obviously, if we're looking at coming into this, both these teams have roughly dominated their quarterfinals, with Connection Lost dropping one map, whereas N.S.A.L has not dropped a map yet here in the playoffs, which, that might be a nice little confidence boost coming in.
Yeah. Kixlos is the second seed in the Masters division overall, but NCL third seed. So they're very closely matched stats wise and seed wise. So you would give the edge a slight bit to Connection Lost, also seeing as they're just been doing well. But NCL so close behind, we don't really know where they're gonna go. And we can see a little bit of what's going to happen in spawn maybe before they get out of the door. So let's see what they queue up first.
Yes, indeed. And Orisa Sigma, it's interesting that Sigma is what's queued up currently. We might see it change as either the spawn doors open or as the match progresses here, but recent changes made it so Sigma maybe isn't the best thing in the world, but because of what teams have been running before, maybe they just kind of ride it out. This is what they know. And plus, you do have the May for Ninquist over on the side of Connection Loss, which is always a huge hit here on the Control Center.
A huge difference, though. Memes on the Baptiste, Kevin McQuan on the Zenyatta, and we see the Moira Lucy on the other side. The support differences are immense here. They're immediately going to go off in a little bit of a fight. You see the aggressive stance coming out on the high ground here. Ninja is just behind the shield doing a little bit, but the shield's already gone. Barriers drastically nerfed, so they won't be around for long. And the walls just block everyone from actually fighting each other whatsoever. But we do see the flanked Zenyatta coming out from Kevin McQuan. Does quite a little bit of damage. It has to be careful not to just be taken out. And the point is flipping over too. Yeah, it's been flipped over straight away. That's not something you want to see if you're there on the side of N.S.A.L. But they're coming back into it, killing Ninja, killing UB Pro. Just sustain is a little bit better with that Baptiste and that Zenyatta, it seems. And Pandakai, last of all, first point flipped. Did go over to Connection Lost, but N.S.A.L just pulls it back after only 15%.
And I mean, they knew to play it slow, which you're going to have to do for this side of N.S.A.L. just because of the healer composition you're running. While Baptiste can put out a lot and Immortality Field, Zenyatta isn't the most notable hero. As Ninquist starts off this fight with a huge pick on the Bob Face, that's a lot of the damage down.
Bob Face can do so much damage, especially against those shields with the burst damage of the arrows. And now they just have to wait for either the respawn or they have to take this 5-5v6, which seems more likely. Kevin McCon falling also. Immortality Field's already been used. The good Gravitic Flux gets a few members in the air, but everyone is already dead, so we'll only get the kill on the Echo. And does mean that Bob Face can't even retreat to spawn. This will be the point has been recapped already. It's
yes,
quick switches so far.
Yes, indeed. An interesting commit of the Gravitic Flux there from Rick Thomas, just because there wasn't really a lot to be gained. It wasn't going to be a fight turner or anything like that. There still was the looming threat of Echo's beat, which wasn't really online, but the walls start.
Nice pull into the dragon as well. The blizzard just ensures that no one can go anywhere. They use the transcendence though, but that might just not be enough. Especially, they tried to do the death blossom but got frozen up. Ninja couldn't get that out, and the counter blizzard is amazing. The transcendence keeping them alive just enough for that to get going. And now the wall splits up anxiety. It means you only have your supports alive, and I don't think the Moira Lucy will be able to do much about stalling this point out for long. This one's gonna flip.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, for the side of N.S.A.L, you'll take that any day of the week. You got four ultimates out from connection loss, and we're able to reflip the point going forward. All they have is Panda Kai's Gravitic Flux and Echo's Beat Drop, which reasonably the Beat Drop's going to have to be used, but early square.
Right now, application matrix, make sure that UB Pro and Bendakai are not long for this world. Echo is trying to boop and wall Ryan around a little bit. Will just not be able to do anything really. Nyquist and Echo therefore get out. No, Nyquist actually doesn't even get out. And Larissa still on the wall. I think they know that anxiety is there. But the pool's not good, and they don't want to challenge this.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it sounds terrifying. You don't want to 1v1 that Orisa. And
Yeah,
now with the
another
rest of the team
back.
rushing back in, the Supercharger starting.
Oh, this is good Gravitic Flux. The Supercharger is out, like you said. Immortality Field and Transcendence keep everybody up, and they still haven't used this beat on Echo. They're just trying to find an opportunity, but at this point, it might not even come because they just keep dying. Bendakai, Nyquist, and even Echo now also down. The only survivors are Ninja and Yubi Pro, and they're even gonna be chased out a little bit.
So, as we're rounding up to 99% here for N.S.A.L, this is looking to be final fight territory unless a flip can come through. The insane shield break that the supports are able to do, but the dragon,
That doesn't do much because of the sound barrier, luckily. But it does mean the sound barrier is used pretty early. Gravitic Flux and Blizzard come out to just deny Anxiety anything to do. Pendakai already down. Echo falls shortly. With a 4v6 fight, you gotta see this go in favor of N.S.A.L most likely. Connection Lost are really trying here. They're definitely putting up a fight still. And they do get the counter kill on Rick Thomas with Anxiety and Ninja and Nyquist. They're all falling so quickly after that barrier's gone. You just not see anything else happen. They're going to try and stall out for a little bit, but this one seems to be over, and, well, they're going to have to do better in round 2 if they want to win this.
yes indeed, and like I was saying before the dragon cut me off, as the bell rings out here for Control Center, N.S.A.L with this composition switch up, their supports being on Zenyatta and Baptiste, with shields actually being meltable in this meta, it's just the insane amount of shield break. There's nothing really to hide behind if your connection lost. So this is where you got to switch it up, as you see they're doing here onto the Baptiste Zen themselves. And I feel like it's just gonna come down to who's gonna break these shields first. It's interesting that shields still define the meta, but in a much different way, because before they just
Yeah.
never broke, so you didn't care. And now
Now
you're
they
just waiting
always
for them to
break,
break.
so you just need to do it quicker, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't run the exact numbers of what what a Hanzo Storm Arrow plus a Zenyatta right click plus Baptiste just firing, like how quickly you break a shield with that. But look at that, the Ursa shield's already gone, the Sigma shield's falling very fast, and N.S.A.L still have one up. The Sigma barrier of Rick Thomas is still there, so they could still use that. But the point will be occupied first here by the side of Connection Lost, taking a nice position there. Usually, be able to use that structure of the map in order to take less damage. But they are defending now. Memes falls to an accretion though. Panakai hitting that one, threads the needle between the doors and the barriers. This is a perfect kill there, but Echo falls on the other side, meaning they have a double trouble. That means a lot of healing gone from both teams, and Rick Thomas is definitely capitalizing on that one already. Takes down 2. UB Pro gets the counter kill though. This fight's not over, and the point has flipped in a favor of Connection Lost. Looks like they're actually winning this out. They had the DPS left. Ninja going on a tear does actually show that he has the ninja capabilities on that Hanzo.
Yes, indeed. This is another thing with shields not being an influence anymore. You no longer need to play that Doomfist or that Reaper to try to get value getting past. And with Hanzo being so powerful, not only with the Storm Arrow for shield break, but just the natural aim that you can have, one-shot potential as well. It's just insane what you can do.
Echo just wiped off the face of the earth with that amplification matrix, so you cannot even run away from that. So that's how quickly that high damage value comes out. There's the dragon as well, goes straight through the middle, doesn't even save Nyquist with the Transcendence, but does actually, they do get a counter kill on the Rick Thomas. This fight's not over just yet, but the freeze comes out, their anxiety falls, and they need a little bit more if they want to hang on to this one. Ninja gets the kill on the Kevin McQuain, but it's not going to be enough. Point will flip to N.S.A.L, but that's a good 61% already.
Yes, indeed. And with a very late pick, it's not really going to matter. Both Hanzos will get back roughly the same time. So we're going to have to look at the old bank to really decide how this is going. And it's pretty even across both sides. And either side really having Transcendence. The one advantage really just kind of being Echo having this amplification matrix up as the Dragon start.
Oh, there's an early Dragon Strike, but the Blizzard comes out as well. And that's a lot of people frozen. They couldn't get away quickly enough without that Lucio, and that means that 3 frozen, 3 dead. And what are you gonna do? Is connection lost? You're probably gonna try and run away, and they cannot even do that with the great Maywall of Stingy String. Yeah, you gotta reset that way, Ninja. But only 37%. They still have some time to come back.
Yes, indeed, this point is nowhere near a loss, but interesting moving forward is going to be now the Blizzard up for Ninquist. If this can be kited properly, N.S.A.L will have themselves in a phenomenal position to at least to get to the 99%, but Blizzard's still such a high impact ultimate, as it seems the Hanzo's been scouted here on the flank.
It does seem so. They have seen him, but Botface still gets that kill. Panda Kai also falling. So it means it's already a 4v6, 3v6. It looks like they're going to just try and run away from this one. And I don't know if they're going to get away alive. Yeah, okay. They will. They will. No one else is going to chase that far. But they haven't really been doing that well since they lost the point connection loss. So now they're really on the back foot. They need to get something going.
Yes, indeed, because as we pointed out at the beginning of that fight, Bob Base was scouted out. They knew he was there, but the flux comes in from Rick Thomas, pulls all of the attention, and allows him to get the pick onto Zenyatta. And Blizzard's starting up the fight.
Great Blizzard as well. I think there's going to be quite a few members frozen, especially Rick Thomas and Memes are already there. Immortality Field's gone, Shield's gone, Wall's gone, Memes will fall. But UB Pro somehow goes down to the Dragon Strike on the other side. Bobface and Nyquist were facing off in the middle there. Ninja tries to now do the duel, but the shields are still there for the Orissas. Meanwhile, on the point, we have so much other action going on. Echo has already fallen. Ninja and Pandakai going ridiculously low because of that, because you need that Baptiste for all your healing now. And with 99%, well, they just don't touch. This is going to be a 2-0 win for N.S.A.L here on Lijiang Tower, and that's a 1-0 in the series.
Yes, indeed, and I don't want to say it was convincing, but whatever right before convincing was B. Bobface on the Hanzo, obviously netting a nice little play of the game, but just the picks were immaculate, as well as the damage output onto the tanks never really gave them room to breathe. And now without that Lucio in the mix, ooh, that nice headshot. It doesn't really allow you to hide or run or anything like that. So picks like this need to be shut down quickly if Connection Loss wants to tie the series up 1-1.
DPS can actually focus on the DPS and the flanks again, because the shields will be broken anyway, so it'll be fine. But you
Exactly.
do see it happen where the one DPS is doing a little bit more of the flanking than the other. But what's really interesting to me were the blizzards. There were so many people frozen in those, and like to me, that just looks like the absence of Lucio is really making people unaware that they just need to run sooner or they need to be spread out a little bit more. And we've obviously not that used to people not being like to be people being frozen anymore because there was always Lucio. You could also run away, and that's not the case anymore.
Yes, indeed. But that is just the first map. You know, it could
Of course.
be an indicator, it could not be. Only time will tell. As we are moving on to Assault 2CP, whichever you'd like to refer to it as, and it looks like Connection Loss is going to opt into Hanamura.
Yeah. I don't think it matters which of the two you go to. Like you will have a very different meta on either, anyways, than you would before. For me, it's curious to see whether either of these teams will go for a Bastion defense, because that was obviously one of the staple comps you could run here. I don't know if that's still as good.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, May is still going to be phenomenal here on Hanamura just because of the choke points that are available to be walled off or just the zoning potential she has. So I feel like that could definitely be run. But interestingly enough, the bunker compositions, possibly with the rise of Baptiste, could go up as well as potentially maybe some attack bastions just to break the bunker. Just because if you know there's going to be a Zenyatta and a Baptiste on the other side, Farah might not be the safest play anymore.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where it's always going to be hard, right? Because the Farah never really relied on the barriers, anyways. So you're kind of looking um, towards even more damage, potentially just splash damage, also landing because of the reduction of shields. But that being said, since you weren't really expecting hits going to come out anyways, because it would just lose all the barriers anyway, so your Farah would always get more value. That's now more of a possibility. So you might just not want to take the risk of the Farah.
Definitely, but we can at least guarantee N.S.A.L having to come out on the defense here, and it looks like they saw it work
Same
on Li
thing.
Jiang. They're just
Yeah.
gonna run it back, see what it does for him here.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we'll probably see the mirror from Connection Lost. Panda Kai, I would be nothing short of flabbergasted if a diva came out here, but crazier things have happened. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what we're rolling with.
I really want to see some more crazy things happening here, but right now they're like you said, they're just kind of come out and it's just mirror comps. They just want to see if this works, can we do it better? And so far they haven't, but we've only seen one map. Barely see them try and mirror it. Right now they're gonna try and come. You see how quickly those barriers break. They're not even getting to the choke, and Nyquist just gets spammed down essentially, and that's what's gonna happen to the entirety of connection lost. The question is whether it ever will come through at this point.
Yes, indeed. And with just quickly to note, Bob Face, Kevin McQuarrie getting another pick, but Bob Face already 74 to the Dragon Strike, building that ultimate
Hmm.
exceptionally quickly. And while Dragons can definitely pop up in the kill feed, it does an insane amount of damage. It's mostly used for zoning these days. Just anytime a blizzard comes in, you saw Bobface, if he had it up, would chuck it just to prevent any follow up coming in, and it's just the utility that Hanzo can provide.
Definitely is. Can also be combined with pools now. And again, with Lucio, it's hard to run away from it. Nyquist goes beyond their own wall in order to try and do something to the enemy team. It goes a little bit too far forward. That means it puts the rest of the team in an awkward position, meaning that Bobface and Stingy String just kill Nyquist and Anxiety straight away. There's nothing they can do about it, even though they had their amplification matrix up. This fight is just going south very fast.
And I mean, that was a fight that was nothing short of perfect for N.S.A.L on the defense. Echo commits the amplification matrix there just to try to start, potentially get a pick. It's just too far forward, so that way N.S.A.L can kind of run forward, deny any usage of it, even if they wanted to use it. And then pick after pick just comes in, and now the defense has a whole slew of ultimates built up. I'm not really sure what you're going to counter with, as most of Connection Loss is still earning up to their first ones.
They try to go through the sidewall, but the wall of Stingy String is so good. They can't even go through it. Plus, the wall just disappears with an amplification matrix. Nothing to be done here. Nyquist is going to get staggered as well. It's just brutal so far. It's not looking like they can get through this choke whatsoever. Over 2 minutes gone, and they're just trying, but they cannot get through.
I mean, the plus side obviously being is you're going to pretty much guarantee build up to ultimates before those minutes are. But Kevin McQuan on the Zenyatta once more, just
It's back.
been waiting,
Zenyatta right next
bloodthirsty
to back.
support. All of the
It's
Zenyatta
definitely
mains have been sitting in the deathmatch lobbies waiting.
yeah, and now it's not just gonna be the Zenyatta, it's because Baptiste also does a pretty well. Like, it's just a nice amount of damage, I'd say. It's something you're definitely not gonna sniff at. And as Gravitic Flux, once again, the wall comes out from Nyquist, and both the Immortality Field and Transcendence do deny a lot of follow-up, at least a lot of effective follow-up. There's still so many ultimates on life for defense, though. Blizzard is out. I don't think Nyquist will get out of that. No, even Echo gets frozen up. And Pro was just stuck underneath that deck there. They don't have any supports left. If they want to get this going, they need to start killing things. Otherwise, they'll just not be outlasted. And they can't even get one shot in, not even one kill in. They almost got somewhere, but it just got shut down once again.
Yes, indeed. And now we're looking to the last 30 seconds here. UB Pro switched over to the Moira now instead of the Zen. So you might get a little bit more healing, but her healing was nerfed. So you're going to lose out the Zenyatta kill potential there in hopes that you're going to live a little bit longer. And essentially, it's going to come down to these Dragon Strikes. We actually have mirrored ultimates online, Dragon Strike Supercharger and Amplification Matrix.
Nyquist once again gets just cornered out, and that choke is already down. Bandakai, Echo, Yukro, they'll take so much damage, but the Immortality Fields and the Implication Matrix has already been dropped from both teams. Stingy String and Ninja will be traded out, Kevin McQuan and Echo as well. UB Pro will fall, and that means that with Meme still alive, this sustained battle is 100% going in favor of N.S.A.L. Nothing to be done. The Fire of Nyquist tries to get close to the battle, but will never be able to touch the point. Full hold, not even a tick taken on Hanamura. This is looking sweaty here, and it's definitely looking like something that you need to be looking at. It's so hard to get through these chokes.
I mean, definitely because you're running these double barriers, and this is where I was talking about before with the issue of Sigma is you don't really have that mobility or that presence with Sigma. His damage is either directly in your face if you're close enough to be hit by his hyperspheres. Otherwise, it's a pretty far away is away before he's dealing damage. And that's where I kind of fear for him in this meta. That's why a lot of teams, at least from the little scrims and tidbits we've seen, have opted into the Reinhardt instead of the Sigma just because it gives you that more close up presence. But melting shields right now seems to be the name of the game, and Zenyatta Baptiste seems to do it well.
Yeah, and if you look at the shield game, like the total health of shield game and the way it block damage, you can kind of argue that Reinhardt on his own almost has the shield capacity of Orisa and Sigma combined. Like if you do the math there, it's like 100 or 200 health difference, and his shield is more adaptable as well. So you would think that he might be more playable. The problem with Reinhardt is, of course, that his range damage is a little bit less. So by the time you get there, their shields will still be healthier than yours in most cases. So maybe it will work. We'll see if Antunia and Rick Thomas can pull it off here with the Orisa Reinhardt, because then they have ranged and the close range and a lot of shields. But it's still not a guarantee to get through. And Bobface of the Sombra is definitely an interesting one.
I think the Sombra could just be the scout as we see the switches coming through for the tanks.
Yeah, they
It's
don't know
possibly
yet.
just scouts. We do have the pharmacy coming online
Defense.
for Ninquist. Yep, because you're just trying to play this and then play the other four as kind of a bunker type deal, but you're playing very close to the choke. So it'll be interesting to see the value that this Pharah can get when everybody on their team can threaten you, and just like that.
Ooh, not a lot of value if you just get headshots straight away, but they have your res. That's why you have the pharmacy, not just for the heals, also for the res. And a lot of damage already coming in. Nyquist, 77. I think it's quicker than Bobface was charging the dragon beforehand. Already has the barrage up, and this is hard now to defend against.
Yes, indeed, because the Pharah can just play these passive angles you see, not overextend at all. It's one of those things where you have to force your way through choke, and then the Pharah is going to be in for a world of hurt. But that is still just first fight. You already have your amplification matrix online for the attack here, but it's just a question of how you're going to live this barrage. Either if somebody takes her out before any damage comes through, or potentially immortality field to kite most of it. It really depends.
Yeah, Yubi Pro already down Pandakai as well. That amplification matrix just ruins any plans for a defense. They're just gone, and the amplification matrix of memes has been so good so far. They're just gonna walk to point, cap 33.3%, and win another map, and they'll already be 2-0 up. And we've barely started this match, and it's already this far. N.S.A.L is just steamrolling this.
Kevin McQuan on the Zenyatta right there, putting on an absolute clinic. First shooting through the square to help deal the damage to take down the first 3 picks. And then Pharah decides to try to be the hero, save the day before she can even say the word justice, just taken out of the sky. Zenyatta right now finally showing he can flex his muscles once more in this meta.
Yeah, we've missed him, but he's back. Our Omnic Monk definitely doing the damage here. And I can't believe, like I said, I can't believe we're already 2 maps down, 2-0 for N.S.A.L. This could be a very quick semifinals if this keeps going. And of course, we could have seen something like this coming. They've played the entire season so far on that old patch, and this patch changes so much about how you have to play that certain teams with their playstyle naturally will adapt to it a little bit better. And it seems like that's what's happening for N.S.A.L. right now. That being said, there is still a chance for connection loss to come back into this. But first, we'll give them a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break. Same for us, same for you guys. And when we come back from the break, we'll see if they can bring it back or whether it will just be a 3-0 for N.S.A.L. Well, see you on the other side for that one.
And that's
Well, how about
most of the
that?
time they're all just square.
Oh, Krev getting that early.
Around, but can they teleport in? That's the main question. Can they teleport in safely? Anything happening? It looks like they want to teleport up to the far high ground here. That was such a smart play. They used
That
the
was
wall
an insane
to get.
play.
Oh, that was in main, and now they're just on the point. They are walled off though. So Storm Creator is already down. One of the longer ones that I've seen ever. It just keeps on going with all these sustainable heroes. No clutch death loss this time from Blue though. The freeze is there on Paragon, but no one to kill him. Storm Creator and Sereniac are on the side, but they can't really get any kills out of this. It looks like the self-destruct may be able to get someone. Does get Aerosmith, and Sereniac gets back into the well. Nexus actually falling in this time. No more Reaper. They're losing the DPS. Paragon is trying to swing around here, but Sereniac just pumps in the damage with those Diva shotguns. Osprey trying to get another boop in, but it's going to be Blue actually getting Paragon from the other angle. Blue teleporting forward, goes for a will. Can they actually get it back? It's insane. This fight is going on forever, and they catch it back? The volcanic violence.
Engage, but this is not what you want when you're going against double barrier and a huge ultimate gravitic flux from Prince Cats. He gets 3 of them with the help of his team. Awesome play there. To the rock accretion, kind of just taking a little bit damage down, and of course the first kill going to be coming over to Very Cool, who was playing on the Hanzo, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to get any picks here. Voltage doing a good work here of cleaning up the kills as this power of the Mei here, walling off connection lost, preventing them from getting onto the team. Nyquist tries to come in, gets counterpunched by No Karen. In fact, she just says no right back, and you see, damn it, Karen, wall going up, charge coming in from Despair. The power really of the combination with the Mei, and that's going to be a push to choke to hold them here.
That's really where they do well, even throwing Meteor Strike out with the Shatter. Nice combo.
If Loco can get it off early, that's gonna be the biggest thing if they see that Nano Blade coming. And it looks like here it comes. Speed drop's gonna come. Oh no! The Gravitic Flux and the Blizzard come in. Ursa able to get the double with RDK popping the Blossom.
Defense, though, we're close to the defensive ultimate, so they're going to be a little bit of pressure if that Nano Blades hits right now, and it does look like it's going to come out. Oh, it's only the Blade! The Meteor Strike gets 3% Widowmane! This is a disaster! The Blade came out, and the Nano wasn't even used with it because Riftical was under too much pressure, so that means the Blade will get 1, maybe 2 kills, then rush in when you see an opportunity. And they're taking it a little bit slower now, so it might be good taking that device straight away. But the barrage!
The Rock ends up taking out the barrage. What? That's incredible right there. Like, it's...
And we'll see that there with the Coalescence being used to try and hold it, but it's not going to work. Yes, the Bongo will take down the Fist will take down the Bongo, which is nice to see, but Maddie's surprisingly going huge here, getting the kills, which is the power of Doomfist.
Idea on that one. Vafra is able to follow up there onto Lord Yukon. It's a 5v6 bag as again. Voltage, obviously, as we saw in chat, has some wings right there. Getting to the high ground, melting anyone that didn't realize that they used tank mode to get up onto that high ground. We're going to see Lord Yukon, the only one left to try to hold on to the objective, get melted by Voltage. We see the
on the Desi, so it's still going to be that 5 in. The res comes on to Bastion, so all was for naught in the end. Bab goes down. Immortality Field was dropped on the carpet. It was shredded by the Bastion. Hammond just trying to install his Biscay and Sigma 9! That's so unfortunate.
Finds Volta and Portal with a charge kill undefined. That's 2 quick kills, 3. This Reaper will fall. Pilot will fall as soon as they get out of this race form. Unless they get out with the TP. I think they're just going to try to stall out points as much as they can, but a quick swap at around 20% is going to come through for the Smilers.
Comes back with a res, and now the window of pain coming down for XC. I don't think we're going to see Phantom use this barrage. Maybe he's going to drop down and use it on the tanks. He's trying to turn it around for his team, and he's able to pick off 2 with that? How does that happen?
Fight on the objective as we see the tackle come in from Captain. Ends up getting taken down by Starlock. Oh my goodness! Phantom with the triple kill starting off already, and they haven't even grabbed the objective yet. MacGyver finding themselves on the outside of the objective.
We may see a full hold on point A from them. Window of Pain gonna go down in an interesting position, but there's the barrier to protect all projectiles from coming in. It's gonna be the Immortality Biscuit to try to keep Scion alive, Silco, but he is in danger right now because the rest of his team is slowly falling and he's unable to protect them. Very cool, the only one left alive.
Regroup, get some health back, and he still is just getting picked. It's an insane DPS power.
Uncontested second point capture. Blue goes down. The Shatter falls from Paragon. The Blizzard to follow it up. I don't think anyone's getting out alive over here. What a beautiful follow-up. And they have the ultimate, so why not use them? Pacifist last to fall.
Looking for it, and it's going to be really difficult for anybody to catch him out. Wait, can the Lucio see him? The Lucio sees him.
Lucio sees him. He's stuck in there. The nano charge. Oh, takes down the Reinhardt. Ranter with the nano boost on the Fortal. Oh, but Fortal with the double fire strike off the nano boost.
Gets revenge on Joe Biden, takes him down. The Immortality Field for Jacques does not last any longer. And Wooby, huge barrage, takes down 3. Can we make it the 4th? There goes the 4th, and it's
Welcome back, everybody. N.S.A.L versus Connection Lost Master Semifinals. We're already in the opposition for N.S.A.L, but we're gonna go to King's Row, and that's where everybody can turn it back. I'm Man of Class, still here with Megalad. And Megalad, what do you think Connection Lost can do to pull this one back?
I mean, the mirror doesn't seem to be working for them right now, N.S.A.L. Whether or not this is the meta going forward, it seems they've just got this composition of theirs with the Zenyatta, Baptiste, Hanzo, Mei locked down. So Connection Lost maybe has some pocket strategies as we are going to King's Row here, but right now it's looking like a very intimidating stomp heading into what could be the last map of our semifinals here.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And I was a little bit maybe curious whether we would potentially get like a draw on Hanamura because we had such a dominant hold. And the hold started out pretty well for Connection Lost as well. And the Pharah really seemed to work for them. But they just crumbled. Like as soon as that application matrix comes out, it seems that NSCL just has all the tools they need to just win the fight. And if you only need to win one for one tick, yeah, then Hanamura is just going to go into their favor. But King's Row, very different map. No not really a lot of high ground for the defense. Little bit more structure to work around. And yeah, I mean maybe we see some Reinhardt.
I mean, potentially we could see like a Ryan Zarya combination. Zarya got a few nice buffs this patch, but
Yep.
at the same time, if you're N.S.A.L, I feel like it's a matter of if it's not broken, don't fix it. So any variations come out, I feel like it could be connection loss, but it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they had a halftime discussion and they've realized that dive is the meta, and we're going to see some Winston Diva.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, Genji got a major buff, of course. You know, the 6 extra
6 bullets.
shurikens. Yeah, it definitely matters. For ones that hear sarcasm in my voice, we've got it confirmed from various Overwatch pros. If you want to be better on Genji, what you got to do is you got to go back and spawn and switch to something else. So you know, just it's still not a great pick. That being said, we're obviously on Overwatch League level here, so maybe someone takes the risk. And we have a Ninja, of course, on the side of Connection Lost, who has already been playing a great Hanzo. Maybe he's got the other Shimada Pro on the cover as well. Defense, though, like you said, same comp as they were.
Yes, indeed. But here on the offense, obviously, still have a few more seconds to switch, so I expect some swaps to come through. Probably Echo speed boosting people out of spawn, and we see Panda Guy switching over. But what would be interesting enough is to see, nope, Ninquist does switch.
They
The Junkrat, I was gonna say, could have been interesting to see because that would have been just way too much shield break, potentially tank melting at that point, and Orisa just walled.
Nice Immortality Field, though, and they've got Yubi Pro on the Baptiste, now Echo on the Lucio, and that has been swapped around a little bit. So that's maybe one of the changes they're looking into, the support lineup. M2 Neat gets put up to it, the wall just drops off it, nothing really happening. But the advance is definitely coming out of the side of Connection Lost right now. Anxiety under a lot of pressure, with the shields up again, and then it goes the wall, and then the accretion. A lot of abilities being used, but they split up the Mei. Stinging String could actually be taken out here, still have the block, but is put on a lot of pressure here. Tanakai going low. That was a nice hold, and they change out the Sigma for the Hanzo. It means a lot of damage gone for the defense, a lot of damage there for the offense. They don't have as much shielding, but they don't really need it because they have the application matrix. They get through Stringy String. They got both the DPS down. Kevin McQuan falls as well. It looks like Connection Lost has got some answers for this comp and is getting through and probably capping point A here.
I mean, the question is, was the Lucio the answer? Oh, but Bob phase might start coming back into this.
They tried. They got the kill on Echo, but that's about all they got because they're still getting taken down. M2 Neat tries to do something. The Immortality Field kept him alive for a bit longer, but after that, it kind of fell apart pretty quickly again.
Yes, indeed. But, you know, it could be an answer for them to, you know, just engage heavily with speed boost because you lose a lot of the value if Zenyatta is just forced to kind of run for his life. And Ninja could also just pick him off. And this could
can't even run for his life, just gets his life taken away.
Exactly. This will give up a huge portion of the street space here while they just wait for the Zenyatta to float out of spawn. Because you do need your full 6 here. But I don't see what the Lucio could do for this team outside of like speed engages, and even then it's risky because of the amount of damage that N.S.A.L has at the ready.
Yeah, I think we might see a lot of it. The answer might be when they can start running away from the blizzard that's gonna come out from Stingy String. That's what I theorized before. Oh, it gets eaten by Panda Kai. The blizzard gets nothing. They don't even need a speed boost for it. There's the amplification matrix to counter blizzard. It just a lot of stuff coming out here. Even the transcendence from the defense. They had a lot of ultimates, but they're using them just willy-nilly. It almost seems no value whatsoever. Rick Thomas has a Gravitic Flux, gets accretions, get pushed back, and they get pushed back hard. Gravitic Flux coming out now, but there's a nice sound barrier to counter it. Yubi Pro did push down the amplification matrix as well. The supports are on fire now, taking down everything. Rick Thomas somehow kills himself, think with the accretion, and they're just gonna push it into B. Connection lost has come alive.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, you might have hit the nail on the head there. They've been able to speed boost out of a lot of these fights where they don't want to be. They've been able to reposition, even though it's, micro transitions. They haven't really full on flanked or anything like that, but they've just been allowed to move with this Lucio, and it's been giving them a real edge with almost a 5-minute time bank rolling into C.
Now you cannot do the damage if you cannot hit the targets because they're too fast. But the accretion, pool accretion once again comes out. They take a little bit of damage, but they put out Immortality Field to keep everyone alive. Immortality Fields on both sides, taken out by Yubi Pro, takes the headshot from Bobface. Panda Kai falls as well. It looks like this is going to be a quick hold on third here, but still 4.5 minutes. I mean, they've been doing very well to keeping up the pace here.
Yes, indeed, but 4.5 minutes is a very long time. You can just kind of stack ultimates, wait for that one final pick to come through, and then you can push it here, because one good push and you're already in that final fight zone, if not securing the map.
The matrix is out, but they put it out so early that Connection Loss just walks back, just ignores the application matrix almost. Now they can go forward themselves. They already used the Immortality Field though. They might want to get that back, but the Dragon is good. Actually gets Stingy Strings, Blizzard eaten twice. Bendakai does it again. What are you gonna do when your Blizzard when it just doesn't exist anymore in this game? That's an amazing thing twice in a row. Now the amplification matrix is there. They have the Blizzard ready. I don't think they even need it because Kevin McQuan and N.S.A.L already down. Bobface falls as well, so you're missing one of each roll, and the rest is just trying to run in spawn. Tail between their legs, and they're not even getting there because of a nice wall that puts out a Nyquist. And they kill Rick Thomas late as well. Stingy String, they're staggering them out. And with 3.5 minutes, the card's getting so close. Is anyone going to be able to touch? I mean, they might be able to touch, but are they going to actually be able to fight properly? M2D doesn't even make it out of spawn, and that's the completion. 3 minutes 16, connection lost. I think they regained the connection.
Yes, indeed. I mean, obviously it was picks coming out from the whole team finally seeming to come online, but you have to wonder their mobility being gained from Echo on the Lucio versus the shield break. And I mean, on the other side, N.S.A.L they seem to stop breaking shield. The picks stopped coming through. Bobface had 1 or 2 picks in that map, but otherwise it was just kind of quiet. So potentially maybe it was just one of those lucky pick type deals, which you can get quite often, if you're skilled enough. But on rounds like that, you could just get shut out and it could shift the momentum entirely.
Yeah, right now, Connection Lost obviously looking very well, but we've seen before how well N.S.A.L can play, and maybe on the attack, it's going to be very different for them, because you don't have as much room to disengage on the defense with the Lucio as you do on the attack. That might make a big difference, and I mean, they are going to run out with it again, Connection Lost side, and I'm thinking it's a good idea. On the attack, though, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to start with this. I think they're just scouting. But if they run out with that, that could be a very fun round.
Oh, are you telling me that Hammond Winston is not the meta that you foresaw with this patch?
It's something people have been theorizing that was potentially possible, because you could just burst engage again, right? But it's not proven to be as great because the shields are still there, and most of the CC and the disables are still there. That dive can just be denied because of the enemy sustain and CC and control. So they're running out with the same comp. It's going to be the same matchup we had in the last round. Well, we'll see if they're going to do better with it on attack.
Yes, indeed. And then also Echo here, possibly having to get his team out, but you can't really give up ground as a defender. You have to be the one to stay staunch, so maybe the Lucio is not going to be as useful here.
Yeah, and the ability rotation has gotten so good from Connection Lost. They really know which to put out first and second, but the amplification matrix is already there for the attackers. They do trade up Panic for Kevin McQuan, so a shield for some damage and some healing. Nyquist also falls low, so this gives the attackers a firm edge here. N.S.A.L going onto the objective. The connection loss retreats to the hotel, though. Don't go through the archway. It's a little bit closer to the point this, and they are able to almost touch, but the shield wasn't that far. The Immortality Field comes out, where they have a flank going on behind them from Bobface. They need to start getting some kills here. Immortality Field are down, Amplification Matrix out. The Ninja Anxiety are all going down. Echo, Yubi Pro, Panakai, they get the counter kill on the M2 Neat, but 1 versus 6 is not going to be a very good job here for Nyquist. Going to try to get back to their team. Ooh, nope. That Storm Arrow will catch them in the back.
Yes, indeed. And now we're going to have a similar type of situation where a little bit of B is going to be given up for free as Ninquist still has to respawn, get back with the team. The upside being your Lucio speed boost will get you back faster. So there's still the potential for 2, maybe 3 fights here on B as we have a little bit of a pause coming in.
A little bit of a pause coming out. Difficulties. You know what? We'll figure out what's going on. They'll be back. You know, it's not anything weird going on. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, with the new patch coming out, we often have a little bit of server instability, so there might be something going on in that area. But for now, it seems we had a little bit of cat trouble. That's not what I hear often, Megalad.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, going forward with these fights, as I think we have our tech issues resolved and coming back into the match, it's just going to come down to the ultimates we see online, as Dragon Strike is built up for Ninja and mirrored on the other side, but then we have Echo with his beat drop, a known counter to the Gravitic Flux, but at the same time, Pandakai has had Stingy String quite literally on strings, eating these blizzards left and right.
The counter dragon to the Gravitic Flux, they change them out. The Sound Barrier comes out as well, and this is where the fight really comes through. Immortality Field already used for memes. I think they might still have it on Yubi Pro, though. Yeah, they have it. It's out now. Amplification Matrix does come out from N.S.A.L, but they aren't able to get any kills of that just yet. Dragon comes out now. Nyquist has to go into the block, but they get the kill on the M2 Neat. That's a huge portion of damage and shielding gone, and tankiness in general. Nice pool. Doesn't quite get anybody, but they are able to now advance onto N.S.A.L, get Kevin McQuan, and they're just going to steamroll through them. If they get any counter kill, it's going to be a miracle, it seems. Nyquist goes a little bit low, but will not be finished off. 4 minutes on the clock, and it stops halfway through streets. And that's a little bit earlier than the card stopped for connection lost.
Yes, indeed. And the defense has quite a staunch little bank to work with to hold the both tank ultimates, the Blizzard, as well as the Amplification Matrix, which Amplification Matrix, I guess, is kind of like the new call. Oh my goodness.
Stingy String. You're like, okay, Stingy String has the Blizzard. So first of all, Stingy String is already thinking, I'm gonna not let this get eaten this time around. And then they just die as well. It's just this Blizzard has been online for like 3 minutes now, I almost feel. It's not actually that long, but it's been a while.
Yes, indeed. And like I was saying, Amplification Matrix is pretty much going to be your new coalescence. You're going to be expecting to see that built almost every fight because of how rapidly it can be built with just the same amount of heals that Baptiste can put out. And Kevin McQuan, once again, won. I feel like this Zenyatta is always under pressure.
Yeah, it just happens, you know. You can do a lot of pressure, but you can also take a lot of pressure. There's a Gravitic Flux, though, from the defense. Transcendence to counteract that, which works very well. And the Blizzard comes out from Stingy Striking. 3rd time's the charm. They get Nyquist. They get the Immortality Field. And they're going to get a little bit more. No, M2 Neat goes down on the other side. They're actually still trading this out. It's a 5v5 right now. The Zenyatta goes all the way behind, is trying to fight against the Lucio. I think the Lucio and Zenyatta having their own private 1v1 in the back. Meanwhile, members falling on both sides. Kevin McQuan wins the 1v1, now cuts to the back of Anxiety together with Bobface. They finish up the fight. The cart's going to keep moving, but that was an interesting one.
Yes, indeed. It kind of just started dragging out into who can get the kill better. It was not really an ultimate or a strategic fight. It just kind of boiled down to you shoot, whoever hits it first will come away with it. But I think there still will be one more recontest here for the defense, and the Supercharger could make the difference, though.
They even zone with the Dragon to properly cement their position outside of that doorway. That's a very nice thing to do, because otherwise it would be very hard to just approach the enemy whatsoever. Supercharger is out, will already get taken down. Amplification Matrix goes, and there just the members immediately falling. You see it, Amplification Matrix comes out, you don't have any reason to live anymore, because you're gonna die anyways. It's just a matter of time of when, so you might as well do it quick.
Yes, indeed. And so now all of a sudden this 4.5 minute time bank, I believe maybe even 5 minutes, is boiled down to 1:30 here, and the attackers here, N.S.A.L, struggling to find an answer for the picks that have finally been coming through for the defense. Ninja and Nyquist both coming online, as well as Panda Kai on the Sigma, dealing out damage and stopping things left, right, and center.
We're already looking at a lower time bank because they only get a minute and a half even if they get it to second here. So the time bank's already better here for the side of connection loss. The Dragon comes out, they pull Pandakai into it, and Pandakai manages to live. Trigonetic Grasp helping out with that. Nyquist, though, walled off, now in the block, Immortality Field out. Huge Gravitic Flux here, though, from the side of Pandakai. Will not get any kills, but they force out the Immortality Field, they force out a little bit more, and the high ground's now there for Anxiety and Pandakai. Yubi Pro falls, though. There's a nice Blizzard, not eaten this time around. They will get Nyquist as a result. The barrier is out, but I don't think they're going to get much more value out of that. It's just more time stall. They get Gavin McQuan, but they're not going to get much more. The freezes are out. Stingy String is back online, and it does mean a connection loss has to give up this point. Point 2 is going to be taken for N.S.A.L, but only 2 minutes, to the 3 minutes 16. Even if they get it to the end, they'll be at a much lower time bank.
Yes, indeed. But now we also have to keep in mind finishing the map in general here is what you're going to be looking for, because a draw in this series does not end it for you. It's not that normal four-match series you play. We're playing until one of these teams hits 3 and Ninja starts the Dragons.
Ooh, and they get Bob Face. You pull him back into the Dragon. Gravitic Flux was out here for Rick Thomas. Didn't get any value out of that one. Immortality Field's out for both sides, but you're always missing a member. The Amplification Matrix ensures the kill onto means, and yeah, I mean, they can't really do anything. They have the Amplification Matrix out for themselves, but I don't know. It's not really something that's going to happen here. N2Neat just walking back with Stingy String. They're still waiting for their Baptiste to come back. They're missing a lot of healing. It's sort of an elongated fight here.
I mean, at this point, it's not really a fight anymore. It's just kind of these poke wars, but we're seeing the rocks, the walls. The walls, interesting enough, are being used not as really shield, but as more damage as Bobface coming alive.
When those Hanzo arrows get super powered, they just go through everything. They just melt and destroy. 54 seconds left. Once again, can they even come out of spawn and contest as a team? Because they're just in that corner. Yubi Pro and Anxiety trying to stay alive. The Blizzard comes out, though. It's pretty good. I think it's going to freeze like half the team of N.S.A.L, and the Transcendence is already gone. They get 2 kills from Ninja. Pandakai chimes in as well. It's a 3-kill fest from Pandakai, and they get the combo. The Gravitic Flux. Can they touch? Yes, the ball is there. So we'll be able to have a 2v1 here, and the respawns are much closer from the defense. 24 seconds. Will they make it to overtime? They're at least going to try, but the Blizzard is out. Stuns both Echo and Anxiety completely up, but the Immortality Field comes out. Anxiety is not dead just yet. We'll be able to stay alive, roll around, even if they lose this. I think they're going to be able to get it to the 0-second mark. Ninja is back on the Soldier. They want to finish this off. They want to finish this off on the attack as well for N.S.A.L, but it doesn't look like they can get it. I don't think they have the members. The Tracers here, the May is here. They're freezing up the Hammond, but overtime has started, and that means that even if you cap it here as N.S.A.L, you're not going to get another attack. This, at best for them, is going to be a draw, but looking very good for Connection Loss to make it to a win, and that's the end.
Yes, indeed. So now we're looking at the very least, one more map going forward. This draw is still what you're going to want to shoot for here, just because of the fact that you're still going to force that match point. The pressure's going to be on. But N.S.A.L, it seems like their composition hasn't been necessarily figured out, but they seem to understand that they're not immortal anymore, that they are fallible, and Kevin McQuan's just kind of like, wait, I thought I was killing everything, and it's changed up.
Yeah. Kevin McQuan thought they were killing everything, and now they're the one that's always getting killed. You know, it's just a little bit of a switch of the roles there, just a 180 turn. Now, though, like we said, 1 tick is all they need. So they have 3 minutes 60 to do it. You could potentially build up 2 full ult banks in that time frame and not skip a beat and cap the point with that. Like, that's very possible to do. So it looks unlikely, especially with the last attack they had, that they're gonna like not be able to win this map out. But 3 minutes 60 once again. You know, we saw it on Hanamura. The holds can be very brutal. So we don't know.
Yes, indeed. And it also depends on what they're going to come out here. Obviously, Pandakai most likely going to be switching over to the Sigma. But I feel like in situations like this, there can be more utility given to you with like a Sombra. While she's not as good, the EMP is pretty much a guaranteed fight win as long as you can follow up on it properly. So it's interesting to see. We're going to see that mirror once more. outside of the Lucio, obviously.
And as much as I like to give Genji flack, the Nano Blade can always be a guarantee, especially if you just do Nano Blade EMP. Like, there's nothing they can do against it, but they're gonna try, of course, to get in. Bot face taking a lot of damage here. Nyquist, Stingy String, they're facing off against the Meta. Walls are out, and Rick Thomas gets frozen up. Will they get finished off? Yes, because the Immortality Field was already down. That's the first pick of this fight, and probably gonna lead to a little bit more. Yes, they get Kevin McQuan as well. Again, falling early on that Zenyatta. M2 needs Stingy String, the only ones touching right now, but they'll all lose their lives. No one's gonna be able to contest this for any longer, and Connection Lost is gonna take the win on King's Row and draw the series back to a 2-1.
Yes, indeed. So you do take this map. You feel you finally started to give yourself an answer if your connection lost, but you have to keep in mind the pressure you're still under. You still have to go one more map and win it, and you're going to have to win on N.S.A.L's map pick now just to force yourself to that tiebreaker. So it does not get any easier from here, but it's definitely still possible.
And of course, we're looking at that thing where in the first two map types, the objectives are relatively static. I mean, they are static. They're just an objective that you have to capture. But then we go to King's Row, where you have one static objective, and then afterwards, it's all about that momentum and keeping that going, and the engage and disengage. It's more of a fluid map type. Going to Escort, that kind of trend kind of continues, and it's possible that also really plays more in that Lucio playstyle, like you were alluding to before, where you have that Lucio to give you more space to work with in general and just move around and more mobility. And that's much more important on these more open map types with more space in general. So we're going to see if that actually pays out that way. But it looks like we're going to go to Watchpoint Gibraltar, Megalad. What do you think about that one?
Watchpoint Gibraltar, it's interesting, I guess you could say, for the side of N.S.A.L to pick, because outside of the Hanzo, unless it's a full team committed effort, the high grounds are really going to remain uncontested here. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just going to not opt into fighting the high ground and hope to push the cart through the points, or maybe they have a switch up strategy that they're going to pull here on Gibraltar, because that's the great thing about N.S.A.L's composition is this is just what they've been running all series, and they could just have so much more in the back line, whereas Connection Loss has pretty much been forced to play their cards at this point.
Yeah, I'm very very interested to see if they maybe go for some like a double sniper. Maybe we see something more that utilizes that high ground. But like you said, with the current mostly picked tank compositions, it's hard to really do something with that high ground because it just opens you up to different issues to deal with, and without that mobility that tanks could potentially have, it's always hard to really run on this map. Now we do see obviously that still not enough players in the lobby, so we're a little bit of time to talk about it. This was always like one of Widowmaker's most played maps. Like Gibraltar, immense sightlines, and it just very nice, light, a lot of high ground, a lot of mobility. But with the grapple hook nerf came in, I don't know if you've played Widowmaker since the patch came out today, but or on the PTR at all. But I can tell you, it feels like just an extra minute for you to have your grapple. Like there's this flow you get with the heroes you play, and when something like that gets changed 20% because it's 2 seconds on top of the 10 it already had, so 12 seconds total now, it just messes with your entire flow. And you sort of your brain automatically thinks, "Oh, I'll have my grapple now, so I can use it." And you press shift, and nothing happens. Like that's like the experience you have. So I doubt these teams will play Widowmaker for one, like also for that reason. But we'll see. It does look like we might see actually a dive come out from the defense, Megalab.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see them stick on this, especially. But it does seem to be the play that they're going for, as they're all out of spawn playing forward. So this could
Can't
be
really go back anymore, I think.
Yeah, you're the defense. You're kind of stuck out here. So maybe this is why they opted into this is a defense that can really just kind of move. And as you were talking about before with Winston Hammond, it's just kind of you pick one target, you jump on it, and you hope you burst it down. And I don't know if you can necessarily do that with a looming immortality feel from UB Pro on the other side.
That's might be why they have Bob Face, right? They just want to always hack the Baptiste, and then that won't be a problem. But we're gonna see it. We see Ninja going over to the Reaper now, so they're going for the full dive defense, just bursting down high health targets. And Echo is already bursted. M2 lead rolling in together with Bobface and Stingy String, and they get to kill Nyquist as well. That's an early show of just a dive burst that they can pull out, and that's a very nice thing to see, that it's not just going to be the same comp cell night.
I mean, yes, indeed, but all of a sudden this becomes a very big problem if you're the side of connection loss, because you've been prepping all night for this composition that's been picking at you. You finally think you found your answers, but if Lucio can't use that speed boost or get the entire team out, you're at least going to force out so many of your own abilities. If not, you're going to just get picked time and again by the entire team as they
And it
go in
might
again.
Yeah, they might have destroyed the rotation a little bit, because they forced out the Sombra early, just translocate away, and now they're in their immortality field. They're actually fighting there. They get the kill on M2 Neat. Yes, they lose Yubi Pro, but their healing is still very large. Like, the Moira doesn't do as much as she used to, so that means they can do a lot here. Ninja taking down Rick Thomas, and now they're just chasing down everything. Memes. The Doomfist comes down, does get the kill Ninja, but it's all just, at this point, it's just wasting time and space a little bit, because they have already lost the fight. Kevin McQuan, Bobface, very low both. I think Kevin McQuan will get out. Bobface probably as well. I don't know where Bobface is, actually. Oh, they're on the high ground. Sometimes you lose track of heroes.
Well, now you're pretty much going to be playing for EMP or possibly even Minefield, but now that both the shields are set up on the cart and they have this composition playing, as well as the Blizzard looming as well, it's just going to be interesting to see how this gets played here, just in terms of the ultimates that are going to come out first.
Oh, we have the assassination of Kevin McQuan onto Echo. Meanwhile, Rick Thomas, Ninja Nyquist, Pandakai. That's the true dive burst. What happened there? That was just everything in a bunch, just dove on and deleted from the game. That was a very nice jump down.
And now Anxiety, the poor lone Orisa, just left. They can't really feed her ult charge because she already has it, and they know that because of Sombra and finally going down, but that just burns so much time off the clock. But the ultimate bank, the ultimate bank now for connection loss is pretty much everything but that Baptiste ult, the amplification matrix. But they could get a kill onto him. Ooh, that was extremely risky and extremely close.
Yeah, they're not chasing down the Sombra. I think they know that Bobface is there. I don't think the Translocator is ready just yet. So Bobface is kind of trapped behind enemy lines now. Will get invisibility back, so it's now running away to maybe their own team. But the Mace spotted them out. Nyquist very much dealing with that Sombra in the back together with Echo. They're spamming around all the time. And they're trying to get these kills here, but they have a trouble, and the minefield is out. Will they get kills from that? Yes, Yubi Pro will fall probably as a result of that as well. They just cannot seem to land the damage. They're not used to these targets moving around so fast anymore, so they don't know how to aim, it seems like. You see Ninja just trying to do something, but he gets hacked up and taken out with the burst. I just don't have any answer. They can't even use their ultimates.
But exactly, they're being forced to take all these fights off the point. UB Pro now switching over to Moira, giving up the Baptiste game, but I'm not sure that was exactly the move to make. The Immortality Field was pretty much going to be your saving grace in terms of a dive, but maybe Bobface has just been harassing far too much. And now it's going to be pretty much a 5v5 ultimate war here, and it depends on who's going to get more value with what.
Oh, Nyquist was a little bit out of position, but still manages to get there. They do now get to the low ground, but the EMP is out. But the sound barrier, it was safe. He was hiding. Echo counters the EMP with the sound barrier, and now they have the Death Blossom out. This counter sound barrier comes in, but M2 Neat is frozen up. It's just so much happening at the same time. Meteor Strike falls. No one getting killed from that one, but they're trying to go in there with the Winston Ninja, trying to do something against that, but you get taken out in the back by Kevin McQuan and Doomfist because they weren't there. Stingy String doing a good job to zone that one out there. Gets back in, gets Yubi Pro. Nyquist falls as well. Anxiety gets the kill onto Memes, but I don't think that's going to be enough. They need a little bit more, and without their DPS, it doesn't look like they're going to get it. Gravitic Flux comes out, but that's not going to get any kills because everyone has too much health. They're going very low, though. Maybe Anxiety can do something together with Echo, but it doesn't look like it. It's going to be a, well, I would say full hold, but it's a decent amount of distance, but it's hard to defend this.
It's always hard to defend Gibraltar point A, but it is possible, literally even up to that 0.1 meter right outside your own spawn, you can defend it. It's just the absolute clinic, besides King's Row, which was kind of a back and forth pick for pick map. It's just been an absolute shutout here for N.S.A.L. Whatever they've decided to run, whether it be their composition where they're picking shields apart with Zenyatta Baptiste or they're opting into this full-fledged dive, they made it work. So connection loss is going to have to put something up here on the board because this is their final stand if they want to see those grand finals.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough ask, of course, to hold it this far forward. But then again, we just saw them do it on the side of N.S.A.L. So why would Connection Lost not be able to do it? And I will also say, you have to sort of hold on that high ground as the dive in order to use your mobility to the max effect. So them not starting on the high ground might make a big difference too.
Potentially. It also depends because they could just not run that dive again. Right now, they're showing us a little bit of a Orisa Hog pick composition with a Hanzo and a Doomfist. Obviously, they can switch because they are in the spawn. But meanwhile, for the defenders, Connection Lost, they do actually have the Orisa Hog themselves, and they're opting back to Moira. But interestingly enough, with these Moira nerfs, is it still the play to make?
Nah, they're definitely expecting that dive to come out again. So they think extra burst from Pendakai and UB Pro was doing better on the Moira, so they're probably sticking with that. But it doesn't look like what's gonna come out of spawn. It's gonna be the Orisa Hog as well. They're going for maybe they're just going for that early one. Yeah. So Rick Thomas, you do what you do. You try to hold that top bridge and then hook it out. But it does look like they're gonna switch over to the dive again, but not with the Winston. It's gonna be the Diva this time around. Nice
I feel
entity
like
coming out straight in from Kevin McQuan. They get the kill on the Echo early on, but they need to start getting some kills here. And they're fighting in the open where Dive thrives. They need to seek it up more close. They're spreading out. Dive is taking them out one by one. This payload's already going to move so close to where it needs to be.
I mean, my biggest hesitation with this composition right now is the Diva, just because or Winston rather can go through the shields, but because you know there's a Reaper on the other side, and now you know there's a Roadhog, Diva is the better play for you because you're going to be able to live. Unfortunately, Rick Thomas is out of that mech right now, so kind of sort of just lost little Diva trying to find her mech, and meanwhile the dive going in.
Pendakai getting a little bit thrown around here by the Wrecking Ball and the Doomfist together. There's the EMP already. There's two down. Bobface will get counter killed, but you know you're fighting such a lost fight. You're already low on numbers. It's only Ninja left in the payload. No, they're together with Echo there. It's just so hard to do anything here. They need to get the kills in the Diva. Like you said, with the amplification matrix blocking so much damage. Ninja not being able to hide from the self-destruct, but not from the Sticky String Fist. It's going to be so hard to come back into this. They do get the members out there. They barely touch, but with those dive tanks and that Moira, they don't really have that much to fight with. They need more damage. Nyquist comes back, is getting closer to the Blizzard. Ninja also very close to the Death Blossom. They need to get there. They need to do the damage in order to get those ultimates out. And Stingy String is just not stopping for anybody. Just takes down one kill after kill. Ninja uses the raid form, but doesn't even get to do anything afterwards. And that is the map and the series. N.S.A.L hit a little bit of a hiccup on King's Row, but this dive straight on Gibraltar, that just shows that they're a little bit ahead of the meta game when it compared to Connection Lost. And that's what you like to see. The team that knows how to adapt, that just continues their run into the playoffs, that go to the grand finals. And I mean, they definitely deserve it.
I mean, definitely, like you said, outside of King's Row, which kind of went a very weird way, where it wasn't necessarily a shutout, but it was off pace from what the rest of the series was. Besides that, though, N.S.A.L just dominating, absolutely proving that they not only deserve this spot here in the semis, but why they will be going to the finals. And regardless of who's waiting for them on the other side of the bracket, that's not a team I want to face right now.
No, N.S.A.L looking great, and obviously they just defeated the seed that was technically above them. But like we said before, we have this whole new patch that kind of the whole season, I wouldn't say you can throw it out the window because you see the raw skill of these teams is still so good that even if they're not completely ready for the meta, they can still get a lot done. But sometimes you just don't have what it takes to keep adapted to a new meta. So that's a little bit of a shame. We might have had a closer match otherwise, but it was still close enough that I would consider it a very interesting one. So going into the players, because we've seen a lot of different players today. What do you want to highlight?
I mean, personally, I think we all know who it's got to be. Kevin McQuan on the Zenyatta, and then on the Ana towards the end, but just the bloodthirsty support, not only breaking shields, but then just getting picks left and right. Just it illuminates what everybody's kind of been waiting for with this
Yeah.
nerf, with these changes to come through. It finally allows players to play what they want to play and show how they can thrive on it once again.
Yeah, we can finally see skill again in the game. I think was a lot of people were saying. I think there's skill in what's always been happening. Because the change of the meta changed the way you play the game, and true skill is adapting to that way of the play as well, not just mechanics. But I also do really want to highlight Pandakai, because yes, they lost, but if you eat 2 blizzards in a row, basically just not letting the other May blizzard the entire round of King's Row, I mean, that deserves a little bit of applause and recognition for me. So Pandakai definitely gets a little bit of an honorable mention there. Of course, they didn't win the series, so we gotta go back to Kevin McQuan. I think I'll agree with that one. I think Stingy String and Bobface also did a lot on the DPS, and Rick Thomas and M2 Need definitely supported their DPS in doing their damage. But I will say that Kevin McQuan just threw it down. Using the I think what I like most about it is the way they coordinated their application matrices, especially with Kevin McQuan on the Zenyatta, because every single time that came out, Kevin McQuan had the charge shot already built up. So they knew exactly when it was going to happen, and they didn't need to wait for like a charge shot. They were just ready to just completely explode a target straight away, maybe 2. And yeah, I mean, that's just good communication. And if Kevin McQuan was a part of setting that up, that gives them even more credit for the play of their match. So yeah, I think we got it there with that one.
I think you really did nail it on the head.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on for another hour, but let's not do that. I know my voice is very annoying to listen to, especially when I get into these nitty gritty things. But it's fine. We had a lot of fun. It was a good final semifinals for the Masters, and we're getting to the point in the season. It's very close. We're getting to everything. The All-Star voting is already on the way and getting started. I'm excited for the coming. I think we don't really have that many weeks left. Just the coming sessions or whatever, coming games. It's going to be great. Don't miss any of the action. Make sure to follow, subscribe, put on the bell icon so you can see we go live. Join the server if you haven't yet. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night.